There comes a time in every life when the call to awaken becomes impossible to ignore. That whisper you hear inside, the one urging you to live with more meaning, more clarity, more purpose, that is not just a thought. It is your soul nudging you, reminding you that you are far more than your circumstances, your past, or your limitations. Awakening is not something that happens to you, it is something you choose. And the time for that choice is always now. Not tomorrow, not when life becomes easier or quieter, but now, in this very moment. You see, most people spend their lives asleep, not physically, but spiritually. They are awake to the demands of the world, deadlines, responsibilities, possessions, and praise. But they are asleep to their true nature, asleep to the divine energy that breathes life into them, asleep to the miracle of now. And yet, within every one of us is the power to awaken, to step out of the fog of doubt, fear, and ego, and into the clarity of presence, love, and peace. That choice requires courage. It requires you to detach from the noise and connect with the stillness that already lives within you. So ask yourself, who am I really? Am I the labels I've been given, my job, my possessions, my status, or am I something deeper, something eternal? You are not your past mistakes. You are not the story you've told yourself about who you are. You are pure awareness. You are a spark of divine intelligence, choosing how to experience this moment. The key to awakening is alignment, living in harmony with your inner being. That means honoring your intuition, embracing silence, choosing love over fear, and knowing that you are always connected to something greater than yourself. Awakening does not mean escaping the world. It means living fully in it, but not being enslaved by it. The beauty is, no matter where you are right now, you can choose to awaken. You can stop sleepwalking through life. You can recognize that each breath, each encounter, each challenge is a chance to wake up, to grow, to serve, to love. The smallest act done in awareness becomes a sacred act. Let go of the need to control everything. Let go of judgment, comparison, and fear. When you awaken, you realize that life is not happening to you. It is happening through you. You are not a victim. You are a powerful creator, capable of manifesting peace, joy, and abundance from within. But it all begins with a choice. Awakening is a choice, and that choice is yours to make right now. Don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait for permission. Life is calling you to rise, to see with new eyes, to live with open hands and an open heart. So I ask you, will you wake up? Will you choose to live, truly live now? Because the moment you do, you will never look at the world the same way again. You will see that everything is a miracle, and that you are the miracle you've been waiting for. Awakening is not something that happens to you by chance, nor is it the result of external circumstances aligning perfectly. It is a conscious choice, a moment of inner decision, where you recognize that there is more to life than simply surviving, achieving, or conforming. Many people wait for some dramatic event to wake them up, a loss, a crisis, a mystical experience. While such moments can shake us into greater awareness, true awakening does not depend on them. It is always available in every moment, and it begins when you decide to shift your perception from the external to the internal, from distraction to presence. We live in a world that constantly pulls us outward. From the time we are born, we are taught to seek validation, happiness, and fulfillment outside of ourselves. We chase achievements, possessions, relationships, and approval, believing that these things will finally make us feel whole. But over time, something begins to feel empty. No matter how much we accumulate or accomplish, the sense of inner peace remains elusive. That's because the true self, the awakened self, cannot be found in the world of form. It is discovered within, in the quiet spaces of reflection, in the willingness to let go of illusions, and in the decision to live in harmony with the present moment. Choosing to awaken means turning away from the noise of the ego, the voice that tells you that you are not enough, that you must strive harder, that you must compete and compare. Awakening means realizing that you are already whole, already complete, and that nothing outside of you can add to or take away from that truth. It requires honesty and courage, the willingness to see through the false narratives you've inherited, and the societal conditioning that has kept you asleep. There is no authority that can awaken you. No teacher, no book, no guru can do it for you. They may guide you, inspire you, or remind you of who you are, but the actual awakening is yours alone. It is the quiet, powerful choice to stop living reactively and start living consciously. It is choosing to become aware of your thoughts, your actions, your intentions, and aligning them with love, compassion, and truth. In every moment, you are faced with a choice: to live asleep, driven by habit and fear, or to wake up and live with intention and awareness. This choice is not about becoming someone else. It's about remembering who you already are beneath the layers of conditioning. It's about stepping out of the roles you play and reconnecting with the stillness that is always present within you. External events can be catalysts, but they are not the cause of awakening. A person can face tragedy and remain asleep, or they can experience a simple, ordinary moment and awaken fully to the miracle of life. It's not about what happens to you, it's about how you respond, how you choose to interpret and experience the moment.
The awakened mind sees every experience, even the painful ones, as an opportunity to grow, to expand, and to reconnect with the deeper truth of existence. When you understand that awakening is your choice, you reclaim your power. You are no longer a victim of circumstance, but a conscious participant in the unfolding of life. You see that freedom, peace, and joy are not things to be earned. They are your natural state, revealed when you choose to be present, aware, and aligned with your true self. The choice to awaken is always available, and it begins right where you are, in the here and now. You are not defined by the circumstances of your life, nor by the labels that have been placed upon you by others, or even by yourself. From childhood, most people are conditioned to believe that their identity is tied to their roles, accomplishments, failures, or social status. You are told who you are based on where you were born, what you look like, how much you earn, or what others think of you. Yet beneath all of that, beyond the surface of your life, is a deeper self that is untouched by any of those temporary identifiers. That self is infinite, whole, and unchanging. Circumstances are constantly shifting. What seems like a success today may be gone tomorrow. The challenges you face now may pass and become distant memories. The roles you play, parent, spouse, employee, student, are important, but they are not the totality of who you are. They are experiences, not your essence. When you believe that you are only your roles or your story, you begin to live in limitation. You begin to believe that your worth is conditional, dependent on how well you perform or how others see you. But there is another way to see yourself, through the lens of your higher awareness. When you look within, you can sense that who you are does not begin and end with your body, your possessions, or your status. There is a presence within you that has witnessed all your experiences, that has remained constant, even as everything else has changed. That presence is your true self, the observer, the awareness, the soul. It does not need to be labeled or validated. It simply is. The problem with labels is that they are limiting. When you define yourself by a label, successful, poor, smart, average, victim, survivor, you reduce the vastness of who you are to a single concept. Even positive labels, if clung to, can trap you. If you believe you are only worthy when you are winning, then failure can feel like an erasure of your value. If you believe you are only lovable when others approve of you, then rejection becomes unbearable. But when you remember that you are more than all of it, that no label can truly capture your spirit, you begin to live with freedom and authenticity. Circumstances also have a way of creating false stories in your mind. If you face hardship, you may start to believe that life is against you, or that you are unlucky, or that things will never change. But these are only thoughts, not truths. Your circumstances are temporary experiences, not permanent definitions. You have the power to rise above any situation when you stop identifying with it and start identifying with the strength, wisdom, and peace that reside within you. At your core, you are pure potential. You have within you the ability to transcend any obstacle, to grow beyond any limitation, and to create a life that reflects your true nature. This begins by letting go of the need to define yourself by external measures. Instead, turn inward. Feel the presence that is always there, the awareness that watches your life unfold without judgment. That awareness is who you are, not the labels, not the achievements, not the mistakes. You were born whole, worthy, and complete. Nothing in the external world can change that truth. When you live from that awareness, you stop chasing approval and start living from purpose. You stop fearing change and start embracing the flow of life. You recognize that you are not your circumstances. You are the consciousness experiencing them. And in that recognition, you find freedom, the freedom to live as your true self, beyond all labels and limitations. Most people move through life in a kind of spiritual sleep, unaware of who they truly are, or the vast potential that lies within them. They wake up each morning and follow routines, often dictated by obligation, habit, or fear, without ever pausing to reflect on the deeper meaning of their existence. Their lives are filled with doing, accomplishing tasks, fulfilling roles, chasing goals, but very little being. In this state, life feels like a series of problems to be solved, rather than a sacred journey to be experienced with awareness and purpose. To live spiritually asleep means to be disconnected from your inner self. It means allowing the noise of the world to drown out the quiet wisdom of your soul. People in this state often feel restless, anxious, or unfulfilled, but they don't understand why. They might have all the things they thought would make them happy: success, relationships, material comfort, yet still feel a void inside. That void is not a flaw. It's a signal, a gentle nudge from within that something essential has been forgotten. When spiritually asleep, individuals tend to live reactively rather than consciously. They are driven by external circumstances, the opinions of others, and the never-ending demands of the ego. The ego thrives in this state of sleep. It keeps people focused on fear, comparison, and scarcity. The ego says you're not enough, you need more, you must compete. And in believing these messages, people remain trapped in a cycle of striving and suffering. In this unconscious state, many also identify completely with their thoughts and emotions. They believe they are their anger, their sadness, their doubts, their desires. They are unaware that behind these passing states lies a deeper, still presence, a part of them that is calm, wise, and connected to something greater. Living spiritually asleep means not recognizing this inner dimension, not knowing that peace and fulfillment do not come from outside, but are already present within. Society reinforces this sleep through constant stimulation, distraction, and fear. People are bombarded with messages telling them how to look, what to want, who to be. They are rarely encouraged to pause, to reflect, to listen inward. As a result, silence feels uncomfortable, stillness feels like a waste of time, and self-inquiry is seen as unnecessary. In truth, these are the very practices that lead to awakening, yet they are often neglected or avoided. The tragedy of spiritual sleep is not only in what it takes from the individual, but also in what it withholds from the world. A person who is asleep cannot fully love, cannot fully create, cannot fully serve. Their gifts remain buried, their presence dim. They may live a long life, but never truly live, never truly feel the wonder and sacredness of existence. And yet, within every person, even those deeply asleep, there is a spark that longs to awaken. Sometimes it is triggered by pain, sometimes by awe, sometimes by a simple moment of stillness. That spark is the soul's memory, the part of you that knows there is more to life than struggle and survival. It is the call to wake up, to see with new eyes, to live not as a victim of life, but as a conscious participant in its unfolding. The journey from spiritual sleep to awakening does not require radical change in external circumstances. It requires a shift in awareness, a willingness to go within, to question old beliefs, to become present. It is a choice to stop sleepwalking through life and to start living deliberately with gratitude, compassion, and truth. While most people remain asleep, each person has the power to choose awareness in any moment, and that choice changes everything. The present moment is where life truly exists. It is the only time that is ever real, yet it is often the most overlooked. People spend their lives caught in the illusions of the past and the anxieties of the future, rarely realizing that the doorway to awakening, to peace, and to true fulfillment is always right here in the now. This moment, as simple or ordinary as it may seem, holds the key to your freedom, because it is only in the present that you can connect with your true self. When you live in the present, you are not burdened by regret, guilt, or shame from the past, nor are you consumed by fear, worry, or anticipation about what may or may not happen in the future. Instead, you become fully alive to what is, without resistance. In this space of presence, you find clarity, stillness, and the ability to respond to life with awareness rather than react out of habit or fear. The present moment becomes not just a place of awareness, but a place of power. You begin to see that everything you need, peace, joy, love, is not something to be chased in some distant future. It is available now when you become still enough to notice it. Many people are searching for awakening as if it is some far-off destination, a goal that requires effort, struggle, or waiting. But awakening is not a future event. It is a present reality that can be accessed at any time. It is not about becoming something different, but about realizing what you already are. The present moment strips away illusions and reveals the truth. In it, you remember that you are not your thoughts, not your emotions, not your roles, but the awareness that observes all these things. Practicing presence means becoming mindful of your thoughts without being controlled by them. It means feeling your emotions fully, but not identifying with them. It means engaging with life as it unfolds without constantly needing it to be different. This kind of awareness is not passive, it is deeply alive and receptive. When you are present, even the simplest experiences, a breath, a sound, a glance, can become sacred. You begin to notice beauty where you once saw only routine, and you find peace where you once experienced only restlessness. Being present also dissolves the ego's grip. The ego thrives in time. It feeds off the stories of the past and the ambitions of the future. It is always pushing you to do more, to be more, to get somewhere else. But in presence, the ego loses its power. You are no longer striving to prove or defend anything. You simply are. This is where your deepest strength and peace reside, not in what you have or do, but in your ability to be. The present moment also connects you to others in a profound way. When you are truly present with someone, listening without judgment, seeing them without expectation, you offer them a rare gift, your full attention. In this space, authentic connection, compassion, and love flow naturally. Presence becomes a bridge between souls, a reminder that beneath all differences, we are one. Awakening through the present moment is not a one-time event. It is a practice, a way of being. Life will always try to pull you back into distraction, into mental noise, into time. But each moment offers a new opportunity to return, to remember, to awaken. The breath, the heartbeat, the sensation of your feet on the ground, these are all invitations to come home to yourself. In this awareness, life is no longer something to endure or control. It becomes a dance, a flow, a sacred unfolding. The present moment is not just the path to awakening, it is the awakened state itself. It is where you meet life, where you meet yourself, and where you meet the divine in all things. Letting go is one of the most powerful yet misunderstood paths to inner freedom. Many people believe that holding on, whether to control, expectations, possessions, or relationships, will bring them security, happiness, or fulfillment. In truth, it is this very act of holding on that causes suffering. Clinging creates tension. It breeds fear, anxiety, and a constant sense of lack. Freedom does not come from accumulating or grasping. It comes from releasing, from surrendering to what is, and from trusting the natural flow of life. Letting go does not mean giving up or becoming passive. It means loosening the grip of attachment, fear, and resistance. It means realizing that you do not need to control everything to be at peace. Life is inherently uncertain. Trying to force it into predictable shapes only creates struggle. When you let go, you stop fighting the current, and instead you allow yourself to be carried by the deeper intelligence that governs all things. This surrender is not weakness, it is alignment with truth. People often hold tightly to the past pain, past failures, past identities, believing that these things define them. But the past is gone, and the more you carry it with you, the heavier your spirit becomes. Letting go of the past is not forgetting. It is choosing not to let old wounds dictate your present reality. It is choosing forgiveness, for others and for yourself, and recognizing that freedom is found in the release, not in the remembering. Letting go also means releasing the need for approval and external validation. As long as your sense of worth is tied to what others think of you, you will live in fear and insecurity. You will constantly mold yourself to fit someone else's idea of who you should be. But when you let go of that need, you begin to live authentically, guided by your own inner knowing. You no longer betray yourself for acceptance, and in that choice you discover a profound sense of self-respect and peace. Expectations are another source of suffering. We project ideas of how life should be, how people should act, how events should unfold. And when reality does not match these mental pictures, we feel disappointed or frustrated. Letting go of expectations allows you to meet life as it is, with openness and grace. You begin to see that life does not owe you anything, but it offers you everything when you stop resisting it. In this state of acceptance, peace arises naturally, because you are no longer arguing with reality. Control is perhaps the hardest thing to release. The mind believes that control equals safety, but in truth, the more you try to control, the more you become controlled by your fears. Letting go of control means trusting yourself, trusting life, and trusting that even in uncertainty you will be guided. It means moving from a mindset of fear to one of faith. In this space you find not chaos but flow, not insecurity but inner strength. Letting go is a daily practice. It is the continual choice to release what no longer serves you, old beliefs, grudges, fears, and attachments, and to return to the present moment. Here in this space of presence you are free. You are no longer bound by the weight of yesterday or the worries of tomorrow. You are simply here, alive, and at peace. Inner freedom does not come from changing your outer circumstances but from changing your relationship with them. When you let go, you are no longer a prisoner of your mind, of your desires, or of your fears. You discover that freedom is not something to be found, it is something to be realized, and it has been within you all along. Awakening is not just a shift in thought, it is a profound transformation in the way you experience every aspect of life. It changes how you see yourself, how you relate to others, and how you engage with the world. Before awakening, life often feels like a series of tasks, struggles, and fleeting moments of happiness. You may feel trapped in a cycle of wanting more, fearing loss, and seeking validation from external sources. But when awakening occurs, it is as if a veil has been lifted. The same life you have always lived is now seen through new eyes, clearer, softer, and more aware. One of the first changes that awakening brings is a deep sense of presence. You no longer live constantly lost in thoughts about the past or anxieties about the future. Instead, you begin to reside fully in the present moment. The now becomes vibrant, alive, and rich with meaning. Simple things, sunlight through the trees, the sound of laughter, a deep breath, become sources of joy and wonder. You are no longer in a rush to get somewhere else, because you realize that everything you seek is already here. In this state of awareness, life stops being a race and becomes a sacred experience. Awakening also shifts your identity. You no longer see yourself as just a body, a name, a role, or a story. You begin to recognize that you are the awareness behind all of that. Thoughts, emotions, and events come and go, but there is something constant and unchanging within you, the observer, the witness. This realization brings a deep inner peace, because you are no longer defined by your successes or failures, your highs or lows. You rest in the understanding that your true self is beyond all of that, untouched and whole. In your relationships, awakening brings compassion and connection. You stop seeing others as separate from you, or as obstacles to your happiness. Instead, you begin to recognize the same presence, the same light, within everyone. Judgments soften, conflicts lose their grip, and love becomes more natural and unconditional. You no longer seek to control or change others to meet your needs. Instead, you meet them where they are, with openness and acceptance. This creates a sense of unity and harmony that was not possible before. Your experience of challenges and pain also changes. Awakening does not mean life becomes free of difficulties, but it transforms how you relate to them. Instead of resisting pain or seeing it as something wrong, you begin to see it as part of the human experience, an opportunity for growth and deeper understanding. You face life's ups and downs with resilience and grace, knowing that the essence of who you are remains untouched. This brings a quiet strength and a trust in the unfolding of life. Creativity and purpose also awaken within you. When you are no longer trapped by fear or ego, you become more attuned to your inner guidance. You feel inspired to express yourself authentically, to share your gifts, and to serve others. Your actions are no longer driven by ambition or approval, but by a natural flow from within. Life becomes a co-creation, where you are guided by intuition, and every moment feels meaningful. Ultimately, awakening transforms life from a problem to be solved into a mystery to be lived. You let go of needing to have all the answers, and instead you trust the journey. You see beauty everywhere, not because the world has changed, but because your perception has. Life is no longer something happening to you, it is something happening through you. You become fully alive, fully aware, and fully at peace, embracing each moment as the gift that it is.